Chapter 1. The Arrival. The Nevada desert always smells like something. Not sand, not stone, but like hot metal, sweat, fuel, and something that shouldn't exist on Earth. You stand beside the roaring Chinook, the rotor blades kicking up dry wind that tastes like rust and sunburn. They didn't give you a goodbye, just a nod and a radio click. "Good luck, Lieutenant." And then they're gone. The helicopter vanishes into the white-hot sky, leaving you behind with nothing but silence. Or rather, a vacuum. This place isn't quiet. It absorbs sound, like something that doesn't want to be found. Ahead of you, a gate. No markings, no emblem, no guards visible. Concrete, steel, and air that doesn't move. You're not told what it is, but you already know. Area 51. Officially, it doesn't exist. Unofficially, you've been assigned here with a file so redacted it looked like it had been dipped in ink. You weren't chosen. You were reclassified. A man in black meets you. Not a soldier, no name. His suit fits too perfectly, like it's hiding something beneath. He doesn't speak. He hands you a case hard, matte black, and walks away without another glance. You follow. What else would you do? Inside the case, a uniform. All black. No nameplate. No rank. Just two stitched words in white thread across the chest. Observer 13. There's also a magnetic ID card with your new designation, 47 Alpha. You haven't even stepped fully inside, and you've already stopped being who you were. The hallway is colder than expected. Not from air conditioning. This isn't man-made cold. It's structural. As if you've walked inside something ancient that remembers being buried. Gray walls hum faintly. The lights overhead buzz with the sound of teeth grinding in sleep. Every corner has a camera, but you don't see them first. You feel them, watching you. From behind the drywall, from inside the air vents, from your own breath. Your room D3, Sector Gamma, is barely larger than a prison cell. No windows. One bed, a steel frame, a thin mattress that smells like disinfectant and something more organic. The kind of scent that makes your stomach tighten without knowing why. A desk, a metal chair, one closet, and a wall-mounted frame. A photo. 5 men in uniform, smiling, standing in front of a hangar. One of them blurred, not scratched or aged, blurry like a corrupted memory. The longer you look, the more your eyes try to fill in the face, but can't. Your brain says, there's someone here. Your gut says, don't look longer. The blur stares back. On the desk, a black envelope. No name, no seal, just matte paper, cold to the touch. Inside, welcome to your post. You are here by Directive 47, Alpha. Do not seek explanation. Do not request access. Your duty is to observe, log, and remain uninvolved. You are not alone. You were never alone. If you see light from Hangar 4 after 3:33, do not approach. If you hear a voice inside your room, respond. If your reflection behaves independently, record your last memory. No signature, no date, underscore. That night, you do not sleep. First, it's the ventilation. A grinding cough from the ceiling, as if the building is breathing with lungs full of sand. Then it's the silence when the air shuts off and you can hear your own heartbeat louder than the light above your head. The light, it doesn't have a switch. You tried. The wall is smooth. No button. No sensor. The bulb glows cold, fluorescent, and wrong. It doesn't flicker. It pulses. Like it's alive. Like it's watching. At 3:14 a.m., you turn your head toward the photo again. But the photo is gone. The frame remains. The glass too. But the picture is blank. And then a sound. From the wall. Knocking. 3 slow taps. A pause. Then 3 more. Talk, talk, talk. Talk, talk, talk. You stand. You don't remember deciding to. Something inside your chest feels rearranged, like your blood forgot how to flow in one direction. You reach for the door, but there's no handle from the inside. Only your reflection. In the glass. And it's a second late. You're not a civilian. You're trained, rational, composed. You've passed psyche evals. You don't believe in ghosts. But this place? It doesn't care what you believe. You're not here to understand. You're here to watch. You're here to listen. And what you listen to might not use words. Chapter 2. Compartment D. There is no morning in this place. Only the flick of light above your head, snapping on as if someone somewhere has flipped a switch to remind you. Sleep is not mandatory. Only stillness is. You rise. Not because you're rested, but because you're scheduled. The door opens for the first time in 12 hours. Not with a knock, not with warning. It just slides open automatically, silently, without announcement. Outside stands another man in black. He wears the same uniform as yesterday's escort, but this one's mouth is slightly open, as if mid-sentence, though he never speaks. He gestures. You follow. The corridors are narrower in this part of the base, twisting, sloping downward. You pass doors without handles, hallways that disappear into darkness, warning signs written in codes you're not cleared to read. A voice crackles briefly in your earpiece. Initiate Protocol Lens 3. Observer 13 is assigned to Compartment D. No instructions, no briefing. The escort stops in front of a gray vault door. On it, a white square with only one word, recurrence. Below it, in small black type, monitored environment, observation only. Do not engage. You scan your keycard. The vault opens with a hiss, and inside is nothing. At first, the room is square, cold, walls of polished steel. A thick window stretches across one side, like the viewing glass of an aquarium. Beyond the glass, another room, dimly lit, empty, except for a single metal chair bolted to the center of the floor. No restraints, no occupant, no sound, just that chair, waiting. You sit at the console. Monitors flicker to life. One by one, 9 screens total. 7 are dark. One shows a static hallway you don't recognize. And the last, the room with the chair. You scan the sensors. No heat, no motion, no energy signatures. Just the chair. And then something flickers. 1403. A blink of distortion on camera 6. You rewind. Pause. There, 2 frames, that's all. But they're not blank. In those 2 frames, the chair is occupied. Someone or something is sitting there. You freeze the frame. Zoom in. Not human. The body is too narrow. Arms too long. The head bulbous, turned toward the window. But the face is yours. No mistaking it. Same bone structure. Same scar above the eyebrow from the Academy's final course. Your mouth is slightly open, just like the man in black. Your eyes are empty, as if the sockets are there, but nothing is looking through them. And then, you blink. Not the image, you. You blink, and when you look back up, the face in the frozen frame is gone. Not changed, not blurred. Gone. Replaced with static. The data file deletes itself mid-playback. You didn't press anything. Your console lights up red. Protocol tracer initiated. You have viewed Level 7 restricted image feed. Record will be reviewed. Remain in compartment. You try to speak into the mic. It doesn't work. You try to stand. The door locks. You're not being punished. You're being watched. The room gets colder. Not by degrees, but by presence. The temperature is still 21 degrees Celsius. The panel says so, but your breath mists now. Your fingers numb. There's a shadow in the other room. You didn't see it enter. You didn't see it move. But now, beyond the glass, something stands just behind the chair. Too tall, too still, and facing you. No eyes. But you feel them. You feel them inside your skull, like nails pressing through the bone and out the back of your teeth. You close your eyes. You count. 1, 2, 3. When you open them again, everything is empty. The chair, the glass, even your breath. The mist is gone, as if the room reset, as if the moment was removed. But the screen blinks once more. Camera 9. A message appears on it, typed slowly, deliberately, in monochrome green. We're glad you're here. We missed you. No cursor. No source. Then one more line. Do you remember room 999? Your heart stops. Because you don't. You're sure of it. But somewhere behind your heartbeat, behind your thoughts, a door creaks open. And it smells like ozone and copper and burnt bone. Chapter 3. Code 47. Alpha. You don't remember falling asleep, but you wake in a different position. Your head on the desk, fingers twitching. The light above you pulses soft, pale blue, not the clinical white from before. A note lies beside your hand. Not printed, not typed, handwritten. The paper is smooth, heavy. It smells like rain on dust. The note reads, asterisk 47. Alpha has been initiated. Report to sublevel Theta. Bring nothing. Remember everything. Asterisk. No signature. No time. Just those 3 sentences. You leave your quarters. The hallway outside feels thinner. You walk with the sensation that someone has reduced the air by just enough to make each step feel calculated. Not heavy, just intentional. Every light flickers when you pass beneath it. Every shadow lingers a second too long. You reach the elevator. Its display is black, no buttons, no floor indicators. Yet the doors open. You step inside, and it moves. Down. There is no sensation of motion. No whirring gears, no gravity shift. Just you, in the reflection of the metal walls. Except for just 1 second, your reflection doesn't blink when you do. Sub-level theta. The doors open to darkness. Not pitch black. Worse, military black. Engineered absence of light. The kind used in spaces where humans are not the intended occupants. The only illumination comes from a single line of dim LED lights, tracing the floor, a path, straight ahead. You walk. The path leads you through a concrete corridor, then turns once hard right, then down 5 metal stairs. At the bottom, another vault door. This one is older. It groans when it opens, as though something has been trapped behind it for too long. Inside, an observation chamber. Round. All steel and reinforced glass. At its center, a chair. Not for a subject. For you, it faces a single window. Through it, an empty interrogation room. But something about the room feels prepared, as if it knows you've arrived. You said you don't know why, but your body does. The chair molds to your back in a way that suggests design, not comfort. Like someone measured you long before you were born. A voice crackles from the intercom. Protocol 47. Alpha confirmed. Observer 13 is authorized for level cognitive imprint. The glass in front of you dims and becomes a screen. Then, images. Fast, violent, gentle, disorienting. A child crying in a cornfield. A photograph of you, but older, grayer, scarred. An empty chapel. A hand yours holding a revolver. A desert. A symbol scratched into stone. A perfect circle with 7 vertical lines through it. And a word. Recursion. It appears again and again in different fonts, in dreams, on pages that burn before you finish reading. Then, you've been here before. Not a voice. A knowing. Planted inside your skull, like a thought not your own. You try to stand. You can't. Your legs move, but not now. They move as you move during training. A playback, a memory. But you're not in it anymore. You are the echo. Suddenly the screen shuts off. Blackness. Then the room floods with light. Harsh, surgical. And in front of you, on the other side of the glass, you. But not you now. You in uniform. Fresh, sharp, alive. The version of you that arrived yesterday. Or was it yesterday? And then the image glitches. For just a moment, your double turns toward the glass and smiles. But the smile is too wide. The kind you would never make. The kind that says, I remember room 999. The intercom hisses once more. Observer 13. This is your confirmation loop. If you are hearing this, you have already failed to disassociate. The door behind you opens. A silhouette stands in it. Not a man. Something taller, thinner. Its skin shimmers like heated air. It raises one long arm slowly and points at you. No eyes, but it sees you, and you understand. You are no longer here to observe. You are now the subject. Chapter 4. The silence in the hangar. They don't send for you. No escort, no voice in your ear. Your orders appear as a blinking line of text on the mirror above your sink. Asterisk, asterisk, hangar 4. Midnight shift. Do not enter. Watch only. Asterisk, asterisk. You blink once, the message vanishes. You never turned on the mirror. The air feels thicker tonight. Not humid, pressurized. Like the entire facility is holding its breath. As you descend the corridor, you notice that the lights are no longer buzzing. They pulse, in time with your footsteps, like they're syncing to your presence or your heartbeat. You arrive at the monitoring station outside Hangar 4. It's a glass observation room that juts out like a tumor above a sealed vault door. A wall of reinforced plexiglass looks into the hangar, which stretches into darkness far beyond the range of the room's lights. You scan in. The door opens before you finish. You step inside. It seals behind you with a hiss airtight. There's a chair, a single terminal, and an old analog microphone bolted to the desk like something out of a Cold War bunker. The mic isn't connected to anything you can see, but you hear it humming. Low, alive. You sit. The window before you reveals the faint outline of a room the size of a cathedral. Metal scaffolding crawls across the walls like bone. In the center, half shrouded in shadow, rests a shape. Too big, too smooth, too intentional. It's not a craft, not entirely. It looks grown, not built. You zoom in with the terminal's grainy camera feed. The surface pulses faintly, like breath, like sleep. You remember the warning. Do not enter. Watch only. You lean closer. The lights overhead flicker, and the thing in the center of the hangar shifts. Only slightly, like a muscle twitch in something dreaming. Then sound, so low it's almost pressure instead of noise. Like whale song, filtered through granite. It isn't coming from the speakers. It's coming from inside your chest. You touch the mic. Your hand trembles. You don't press the button, but the mic activates on its own. You hear your voice, distorted, echoing back at you even though you haven't spoken. Hello? No one trained you for this. The creature, the craft, the presence glows faintly now. Lines appear on its surface. Symbols, glyphs. Some of them match what you saw in your imprint session. The circle, the 7 vertical lines. You remember room 999, or at least the feeling of remembering. And something inside the hangar remembers you back. Suddenly, motion. A figure, walking through the far shadows. Human. Sort of. You adjust the camera. Your breath catches. It's you. Not a look-alike, not a twin. You. But dressed in a version of the uniform from decades ago, a design you've only seen in photos from the 1970s. He walks slowly toward the thing in the center. He stops. He turns. He stares straight at you, from across the hangar, across the glass, across the years. Then he lifts his hand and points directly at you. Alarms do not sound. The terminal does not shut down, but your body goes cold. Not like fear, like recognition. The lights dim. The figure vanishes. Not in a blink, but in a slow, rewind-like dissolve, like you're watching time collapse backward into itself. The craft dims. The pressure releases. The mic shuts off with a soft click. And then, only silence. A message appears on the monitor. Asterisk, asterisk, observation complete. Memory, timestamp, 3:33. Return to quarters. Do not discuss. Asterisk, asterisk. As you stand to leave, your reflection in the glass stays seated. Only after 5 seconds does it move, not mirroring you, but rising slowly, like it's been waiting for this moment. Then it smiles. The lights go out. Chapter 5. Echo Protocol. You wake gasping. There is no transition between sleep and consciousness, no dream, no darkness. Just a sudden inhale, like surfacing from water you never entered. Your room is silent, but off, subtly rearranged. The chair is at a different angle. The closet is half open, though you always close it. The overhead light is dimmer, more amber than white. And on your nightstand sits something new. A cassette recorder, old, 1980s design, worn buttons, a small green sticker on the front, Echo Protocol for Observer, 13 only. You don't remember receiving it. You don't remember yesterday at all. The tape inside is labeled by hand. Playback, 14 days forward. Operation, cycle re-entry. Date, redacted. You press play. The tape crackles. Then your own voice. Begin protocol log. Lieutenant Observer 18 reporting. If you're hearing this, it means you've looped again. Underscore. You're inside the Echo. Same face, same chair, new shift. Here's what you forgot. Your hands freeze. You don't remember saying this. And yet the tone is unmistakable. Calm, detached, military. You, first, you are not alone in your body. There are traces, thoughts that do not originate with you. Let them pass. Do not engage. They only respond when challenged. Underscore. Second, avoid mirrors between 3 o'clock and 3:10. Third, if you hear humming from the floorboards, lie down flat. Don't ask why. You already learned the hard way. Underscore. You pause the tape. Your pulse is thundering. Sweat clings to your back. You rewind it. Listen again. Same voice, same instructions, and a final line. Check the left boot inside. You hid the rest. You grab your uniform. Pull the left boot from the floor. Inside, a second cassette and a photo of you standing inside what looks like an abandoned corridor. Graffiti on the wall behind you. Room 999. Do not re-enter. But your image in the photo. You're smiling. A strange, detached grin, the same expression your reflection made. You insert the second tape. It doesn't start. Not until you speak. You whisper, "Ready." And then the sound of machinery. Familiar. The same tones that played in the observation room, buried beneath the static. A second voice. Not human. Not exactly. It speaks in short pulses of distorted modulation, like broken speech from a corrupted system. But you understand it. Not the words, the meaning. It says, Cycle 12 initiated. You remain aware too long. Decompression required. The lights flicker once, then shut off. A low-frequency sound starts beneath your feet. A hum deep and distant. The temperature drops. The air thickens, and in your ears your own voice, layered beneath the hum, repeating something again and again. I am not me. I am not me. I am not me. You fall to your knees. The walls of the room begin to breathe in and out, as if made of living tissue. The mirror above your sink brightens. Not with light. With images? Your past selves. Sitting where you sit. Watching what you've watched. Some of them screaming. Some of them smiling. None of them survived. You crawl toward the mirror. A final message appears on the glass, written in reverse. To exit the loop, you must forget the exit. The hum stops. The lights return. The room is still again, except for the cassette player, which is now ejecting a blank tape. On its label, next entry, upon waking. But you're already awake, aren't you? You blink and find yourself back in the chair. In the monitoring station, the craft in Hangar 4 pulses slowly. And somewhere in a room you haven't entered yet, you are watching yourself back. The man who watches through walls. You hear about him before you see him. In whispers, in warnings. Never a name. Just the one in compartment E. The one who came back. Don't look him in the eyes. You might not stop. No one tells you his clearance level. No one tells you what he does. But his compartment is locked from both sides and the glass is one way. No cameras. No mic feed. Only one rule. Do not engage unless instructed. You are instructed. It happens quietly. Your terminal flickers. A message appears not on screen, but scratched into the screen's surface, as if by fingernail. Compartment E is ready for you. He has been waiting. You leave your room. You don't remember opening the door. The hallway is longer now. It bends. Compartment E sits at the end of a corridor you've never seen before, even though you've walked this space a dozen times. The floor is carpeted. Red. Soft. Too soft. You step lightly. The walls are wood-paneled, unlike any section of the facility. Old wood, with worm trails carved into it, little meandering lines that seem to spell out glyphs if stared at long enough. You blink, and the wood becomes concrete again. Just a trick. You hope. The door to compartment E is already open. Dim yellow light spills into the hallway. You step in. The room is empty, except for the chair and the man. He sits facing a wall, a bare wall, but he stares at it like it's the most important screen in the world, as if it shows him everything. He does not move when you enter. He speaks first. You've arrived late, again. His voice is dry, brittle, like it's been in a cave too long. You step forward. He raises one hand not to stop you, just to acknowledge. And then he turns. His eyes, they aren't wrong. They aren't deformed. They're just too deep, as if someone pushed them farther into the skull, or as if they're not where they used to be. You stare for 1 second too long, and suddenly, you see a room behind his gaze. Your room, but not now. It's on fire. There's blood on the walls. A version of you sits against the bed, smiling through a hole in your throat. You blink. He's still staring. I don't look anymore, he says softly. But sometimes it leaks through the cracks. You ask his name. He doesn't give it. He lifts a hand and traces a circle into the air with his finger. Then 7 straight lines through it. The glyph. Again, you're still asking the wrong questions, he says. Still thinking you're just watching. He tilts his head slightly. His voice lowers to a whisper. But the loop isn't made of time. It's made of attention. Wherever you look, it grows. You ask what he means. The moment you observed the echo, it observed you back. That's when you became eligible. You feel a chill in your stomach. Not fear. Permission. He stands. Too fluidly. Too silently. You hadn't noticed he was tall. He walks to the wall he was facing. Presses his palm flat against the concrete. And it ripples. Like water. He steps into it. Not vanishing, but bending, as if becoming a smear of reflection along the corridor you never saw. But before he disappears completely, he says, "Room 999 has no doors anymore. Just questions." And you're almost ready to ask them. You are left alone. A single sheet of paper lies on the floor where he sat. Not printed. Handwritten. Your name at the top, Observer 13. And beneath it, asterisk, asterisk, day 21, loop 4. Mirror has opened. Subject destabilizing. Memory folding has begun. Prepare containment. Asterisk, asterisk. Signed, Observer 13. You fold the paper. It feels heavy in your hand, like it's been written too many times. The room behind you changes shape slightly. You don't look back, because now you understand. Every time you look too closely at something on this base, something else looks back. And one day it won't look away. Chapter 7. The Folding Memory. You awaken to the smell of chlorine and ash. Your room is rearranged again. Not violently, not messily. Just subtly wrong. The pillow is on the opposite side of the bed. The door handle left-handed. And the photo above the desk now shows a woman you don't recognize. She's smiling. Standing beside you. Your arm is around her shoulder. You look happy, but you have no memory of her. Her name is scrawled on the back in pencil. Marin, Observer 14. You never met an Observer 14. There's only ever been one of you, right? The mirror is cracked now. Not broken. Not damaged, cracked with intention. 7 straight lines radiating from the center. The glyph again. etched into reflection. You move toward it, but your reflection doesn't match your movement. It moves a second before you do, as if it's remembering this moment sooner than you are. The intercom on your desk hisses. A voice speaks unfamiliar, tired. Morning, Lieutenant. Reminder, you're scheduled for Evaluation Cycle 3, Sub, Level Delta, 8:30 sharp. You check your watch. It says 2:17, but the hallway clock just outside your door says 8:31. You open the door. Both clocks tick in perfect rhythm, but to different times. You walk to sub-level Delta. Halfway there, you notice faces. People you recognize, kind of. A technician you remember seeing in the cafeteria last week. Only now he has a limp and a scar along his cheek. You're sure that scar wasn't there before. Another woman passes. She nods, smiles. Morning, Lieutenant Marin. You stop. I'm not Marin. She frowns. Of course you are. Always have been. She walks away like nothing happened. Your hands shake. You open your palm. There's a badge. Observer 14. Marin. The photo on it is your face, but the name is hers. You run. Back to your room. Back to where things might still make sense. You open the door and find yourself already inside, sitting, writing, yourself, but wearing Observer 14's uniform. You freeze. The other you looks up. We're overlapping now, they say. It's normal in Loop 5. You don't speak. You want to, but your throat is full of static. The other you keeps writing. On the paper, a diagram. Your room split in two, labeled Cycle Alpha Subjective Field Collapse, Cycle Delta Memory Reintegration Failure. You take a step forward. The air splits. Literally. You feel the room divide like skin under pressure, two versions of the world overlapping and refusing to merge. Suddenly, you're alone again. No copy. No desk. No diagram. Just the photo of the woman Marin, now torn in half. Only your face remains. You sit on the floor. You try to remember your first day here. The helicopter. The gate. The corridor. But the memories are blurry. Like watching someone else's footage. You remember being assigned here, but not the choice. You remember the rules, but not why they mattered. You look at your hands. They are shaking not with fear, with recognition. Your body remembers more than your mind does. And it's telling you the truth now. You've been Observer the 13. You've been Observer 14. You've been Observer 7. You've always been here. You are the loop. There's a knock at the door, but your door has no knock plate. Still 3 slow taps. Talk, talk, talk. You stand. You speak. Who is it? A voice answers. Your own asterisk, asterisk, you, from before. I left something under the bed. Asterisk, asterisk. You don't want to look, but you do. You reach under the frame. Your hand touches cold metal. A third cassette recorder. On the tape, scribbled in fading marker. To end this, remember what you forgot to forget. You press play. Static. Then, your voice, layered over whispers. If this tape reaches me again, it means the fold is collapsing. The base cannot sustain more overlaps. Memory will become architecture. Rooms will become thoughts. And thoughts will bleed. Underscore. There is no outside anymore. Underscore. Room 999 is not a place. It's a permission. Underscore. And you gave it underscore silence. Then a final line, spoken with absolute certainty. You are not supposed to exist this many times. Chapter 8. Threshold 999. There's a hallway now. You're sure it didn't exist yesterday, or any day before that. It begins where sublevel theta used to end, a smooth steel wall now gone, replaced by a corridor of matte black panels, each marked only with tiny white glyphs you can't decipher. You're not summoned. There is no order. You just know you have to walk. The name pulses in your head like an ancient drum. Threshold 999. Not a room. A transition. The moment your foot crosses the threshold, the hallway behind you vanishes. Literally. You glance back and there's only wall. Smooth. Cold. As if nothing was ever there. You're not afraid. That part of you has been peeled away. Only awareness remains. Tuned. Sharpened. You walk. The corridor slopes downward, not steep, but certain. With every step, the light grows dimmer. Until it's not light anymore. It's memory. You touch the first wall. A ripple of warmth. And then, a memory that isn't yours. A woman in a blue uniform, crying in the mess hall. She whispers, "I can't remember my son's face." You stumble. Pull your hand away. But it's too late. Your mind holds the memory now, her grief lodged beside your own, as if it always belonged. You touch another panel. A man running, sirens screaming, hallways collapsing into static. A door opens room 999, and he screams. You jerk your hand back. It's not the pain that scares you. It's that you knew his name, even though no one ever told you. The floor turns to glass. Below it, nothing. Or maybe stars. Or maybe other versions of you, walking this same path across different realities. You see one pause. Look up, and for a split second you lock eyes. The hallway narrows. Not physically, but conceptually. You feel your thoughts thinning, like you're passing through a funnel too small for language. Your memories become shapes, smells, geometries. You remember your mother as the scent of laundry and metal. You remember the academy as the angle of light on stone. You remember pain as a sound you can't translate. You touch another wall, and this time it speaks. You're close. The corridor opens into a circular chamber, perfectly smooth. No windows, no exit, except one. The door, it stands on the far side, 10 feet tall, rounded edges, carved with 9 concentric circles, each broken by a single vertical line. It hums, not with machinery, with breath. You step toward it. Your badge vibrates. The cassette in your pocket heats. The glyphs on the walls glow. And the door inhales. You reach for the handle. But there is none. Instead, it opens into you. The surface peels like water splitting around a stone. You feel yourself pulled forward. Not dragged, not pushed, invited. The room inside is white, blinding, but not light. It's the absence of all things. There is no furniture, no gravity, no time, only you, and then yourself. A figure steps from the opposite wall, not another double, not a memory. You, whole, centered, older, smiling. He speaks with your voice, but slower, calmer. We've waited long enough. You speak or try to, but you don't need to. He already knows. He places a hand on your shoulder. You can leave the loop now, but you have to leave everything else behind. You nod, because somehow you already agreed. The room dissolves. Not fades, dissolves. Like sugar in heat. You feel your memories lift, not erased, but returned. To something larger, older, wider than thought. The voice in your head, your voice, speaks one last time. Asterisk, asterisk. You were never here to watch. You were here to remember. Asterisk, asterisk. And then silence. But this time, it's not empty. It's peace. Chapter 9. Post-Echo Debrief. You wake to the sound of oxygen hissing. Not loud, soft. Measured. Like breath being timed by something that never needs to breathe. You're lying on a cot. White sheets, white walls. White light, too white. Medical white. But unfamiliar. Not Zone 51. A different facility. Cleaner. Quieter. Wrong. A man in a lab coat sits across from you. No insignia. No clipboard. But he watches you like your data. Like he's been reading you for years. He speaks without introducing himself. You've been unconscious for 48 hours. You nod. Your mouth is dry. You try to speak and surprise yourself when you can. Where am I? He doesn't answer. He asks instead, what do you remember? You hesitate, but only for a second. Everything. His eyes narrow. He leans forward. And for the first time you see fear. Real, restrained, clinical fear. That's not possible. He stands, moves to the wall, touches a screen. It lights up showing your profile. Lieutenant Observer 13. Clearance Echo 3. Status redacted. But under notes. Subject memory wipe authorized post. Threshold. If recall exceeds 10%, initiate lock protocol. You laugh. Quietly. Because you remember writing that note yourself. 3 loops ago. The doctor or handler or whatever he is presses a button. A glass wall darkens behind him, revealing a second room. Inside a chair, a metal band across the top. A helmet beside it. Will need to begin containment. You shake your head. I'm not unstable. He sighs. Number, that's the problem. Instability is easier to wipe. You stand. There's a weight in your pocket. You reach in. A folded paper. Old, familiar. You are not supposed to exist this many times. You hold it out to him. Do you know what this means? He looks. Doesn't take it. Just says, it means you've reached echo saturation. The loop has burned through your identity layers. You've begun cross-integrating selves. You smile. Because he's only half right. You walk toward the glass. Inside the second room, the lights flicker. Your reflection in the pane does not match your movement. It smiles before you do, and mouths a word. You can't hear it, but you feel it. Stay. The doctor taps his tablet. The door to the second room hisses open. Please, Lieutenant, it's safer. For all of us. You look back at him and realize something he doesn't. He hasn't looped. He's still inside his first cycle. Still anchored to rules. To clearance levels. To containment. But you've been all of them. Observer. Subject. Echo. You've bled through mirrors and climbed out of time. You aren't broken. You're free. You step into the room. Sit in the chair. But you don't put on the helmet. Instead, you reach under the seat. Where you once hit a tape recorder 3 loops ago. You press play. Your own voice begins. Underscore. If you're here again, don't resist. Don't explain. Just wait until the glass darkens. Then walk. Underscore. The glass wall fades to black. You stand and step through it. Not through a door. Through the wall itself softened, made thin by memory. You hear alarms. Muffled voices. Running boots. Too late. You're in a hallway now, but not a new one. One you built, brick by memory, panel by echo, door by door. At the end of it, a room, not 999. Something older, something final. You don't walk toward it. It pulls you, and you let it, because you understand now. You were never a subject. You were never a guard. You are the loop itself. A self-aware recursion. A memory pattern that achieved density. Enough to resist. Enough to observe the observer. And most dangerous of all, enough to remember. Chapter 10. Echo Engine. There is no door. There never was. Only a thinning, a loosening of time, of identity, of form. You pass through the threshold into something that isn't space, not exactly. It's a chamber, yes, but one built of waveforms, pulsing, folding, reflecting versions of yourself you never lived or haven't yet. They pass through you. A version of you crying in a chapel. A version of you shooting yourself in an empty hangar. A version of you holding a child you've never met. None of them speak, but they see you. And for the first time, they don't vanish. They stay. At the center of it all, the echo engine. A monolithic construct, taller than any hangar. Its shape shifts as you approach cube, sphere, spiral, as if it hasn't decided what it needs to be for you yet. Your skin prickles. Your mind fractures, but not in pain. In alignment. You remember it now. You helped build it. You were one of the first. Before there was a name. Before there was a designation. Before Zone 51 even existed. Back when you were just human. The engine hums. It's not a machine. It's a reality compressor. A mirror that bent the rules of self, time, and perception so completely that even truth couldn't survive inside it. It creates loops. It creates you. Again, and again, and again. Each version getting closer to some critical density. Until finally you, not just conscious, not just aware, but ready. You walk to its base. There are no controls, only reflections. 9 black mirrors circling the core. Each shows you a version of yourself. In some, you're dead. In some, you're free. In one, you're older. In one, you're not human anymore. Your voice, all of them speak at once. You are the fulcrum. You are the fracture. You are the fail-safe. The engine glows red. It is collapsing. You feel it. Memories flood in. The woman named Marin who never lived. The glyph you drew before you ever saw it. The reflection that acted before you did. The engine can no longer hold the recursion. The loop is full. You have 2 choices. Stabilize. Interface with the engine. Restore the containment shell. Remain inside the loop. Forget everything. Start again. Destroy. Collapse the recursion. Terminate all selves across the loop. End the echo. End yourself. There is no correct choice. There is only consequence. You walk to the mirrors. Each version of you watches. Waiting. You raise your hand to the engine. And it asks you not in words, but in waveform. Should we continue? And you answer, asterisk, asterisk, number. Not like this. Asterisk, asterisk. You place your hand on the core. It pulses. Once, then begins to scream. Not sound entropy. Memories burning. Identities unraveling. You feel thousands of you die all at once. Some peacefully, some screaming, all grateful. And then, silence. Darkness. Stillness. You wake, not in a room, not in a base. You wake in a field. Tall grass, wind, sky. No fences, no sirens, no mirrors. You look at your hands. They are empty. They are yours. You hear a voice beside you. A child, laughing. You look over, and she's real. Not an echo, not a projection. Just real. You don't know her, but somehow she knows you. She says, "You made it out." And for the first time in countless loops, you smile, not because it's part of the protocol, but because it's real. The grass that remembers. The field stretches forever. No fences, no buildings, no wind turbines humming behind security lines, no black-badged men who never blink. Only sky, only breath, only now. You lie in the grass, watching the clouds drift like they have nowhere urgent to be for the first time. Neither do you. Your name doesn't matter anymore. You don't need clearance to feel the sun. You don't need authorization to exist. You are just you. But memory is not done with you. Not yet. It comes gently at first, like pollen in the air. You notice it when your hand brushes the tall grass, and a flicker passes through your fingers. A moment that is not this one. You see a chair in a glass room. You see your reflection looking away, and you feel for just a second the weight of a badge in your pocket. Observer 13. You sit up. The field is quiet, but the silence is not empty. It is aware. You walk. Every few steps, the wind shifts, and with it, memory. Not yours. Someone else's. A woman humming in a fluorescent corridor. A technician scribbling notes he won't remember writing. A child's drawing of the echo engine crayon lines too precise to be imagined. Each gust of wind carries a life not yours. Each blade of grass, a filament of memory preserved. You reach a hill. At its top, a single tree, bent, gnarled, burnt into a shape that reminds you of the glyph. 7 lines through a circle. At its base, a stone. No markings. Until you touch it. And then words emerge. Asterisk, asterisk, they all remembered. Because you did. Asterisk, asterisk. You sit beneath the tree. Not out of fear. Not because you're trapped. But because this is where it ends. And maybe where it always did. You open your palm. The wind places something there. A cassette. Label worn. But clear. Final entry do not play. You close your hand around it. You understand now. The echo never ends because of what it remembers. It ends because of what it chooses to forget. A figure approaches. Familiar gait. Tired shoulders. You. Another version. Or maybe just your shadow. He sits beside you. You don't speak. You don't have to. After a while, he says, asterisk, asterisk, there are still others. Not all echoes burned. Asterisk, asterisk. You nod. He continues, they'll come looking. They'll try to restart the recursion. You glance at the cassette, still warm in your hand. Then we give them something else. What? You smile. A beginning. The two of you sit in silence. Somewhere far off, thunder rolls. Or maybe a launch sequence. Or maybe just the world turning in a way that finally makes sense. You bury the cassette under the tree. You don't need it anymore. Because now you remember everything and choose nothing.